I think I primed that right up to the top. It should technically rev stronger now once warm. Let's see if there's been any change. That is actuating, look. So it is topping up. I know there's a pinhole, I'm not... Alright, still not technically revving. It will idle. It'll rev a little and it'll cut out. Definitely start fuel starvation there going on, and that's doing something, but it doesn't seem quite right to me. But if I popped that off now, that would go at full speed. So I think what it probably needs is the fuel lines, which I may or may not be able to do now. I don't know if I've got enough. I can do that. New inline fuel filter, new pump wouldn't hurt. Potentially another carb clean. I'd be curious to see if any crap got through. It shouldn't have because that filter's on, but yeah, I'd be curious to see if any crap got through. And I think with all them changes, it will be back to its normal self. That's my opinion. So fuel line, fuel pump, fuel filter. It should then, if it's not a wiring issue, which it doesn't appear to be, it should then go back to being a normal riding bike. So after a little bit of research, they don't prime, these pumps don't prime, they only spin on with the engine running. Bit weird, but that's what happens. I'm going to do all of the bits I said. I'm going to change the fuel line from the carb because it has a pinhole in it, that's fine. I'm going to change the fuel filter and the pump so that we're starting fresh, so that there's no huge issues. I cleaned the tank quite a lot yesterday. I'm not worried about too much contamination, but that obviously needs to flow really well for a bike that doesn't use a fuel pump system. Some people online say they put in switches in line so that they can pump their bikes, when apparently it becomes an issue every time you go from the main fuel to the reserve. It becomes an issue again because you have to be cranking the engine for it to switch over. I don't know if it's worth that much hassle for me. I think just fill up your bike, make sure it's all done properly, change it all, let the bike do its thing. Cool, but I do need to strip down the bike again now, sadly, because I need to change that carb fuel line. I didn't realise it had a pinhole in it. So new pump's on. I've brought it forward a little bit because the actual wire was shorter, but that's fine. It's a bit more forward. I want to make sure, I'm going to kind of pull it up so that the bottom line is definitely straight. So I want it to hang a little bit more up. So what I'll do is I'll put something behind it, a cable tie, and pull it up, just to make sure there's no kink there. At the moment it's fine anyway. It would definitely be pumping and travelling in the right direction, but I just want to make sure it's good to go. So what I would do here is throw the tank on and prime it by turning it over. That's how you prime this one. You turn it over, you crank it, and then if it was ready, if it had enough fuel in it, it would fire up and it would run and rev, and it wouldn't cut out like it did on me last time. And considering we've done everything else, we've done the wiring, we've done the spark plugs, we've done the carb clean, there isn't really any reason why it won't run well unless crap's got into the carb again, which is a potential. So I'm going to chuck the tank on kind of almost loose. Chuck in, I bought extra 5 litres of fuel, and see if we can prime it and get it started again. That'd be really cool. I've got my GoPro. My GoPro wasn't working last time, so I've stopped using it, but I successfully used it yesterday or the day before at home, and it was on this phone. So the Samsung Galaxy S10 it doesn't like for some reason, and I'd lost my filming foam, so I'd been using the S10 for a while. That's where it went wrong. So now I've got a GoPro to continue doing test rides. It'd be nice to do a test ride on this at some point, although it didn't get me literally 30 seconds down the road. It cut out the other day. So in the end I did have to extend the wire, which was a bit of a pain because this was bought for this bike, so the wire should be spot on lengthwise, but it's all good. I used the same wire off the old one, it's the same colours, it's all fine. Filters on and actually filled up. Now that's interesting. Is this a free flow? I think this is a free flow down to the pump, and then the pump helps it along maybe, because the filter is full. So I don't know if fuel is free flowing down this system now. That's an interesting. The actual fuel pipe appears to go up before it goes to the carbs, so that will be interesting. So we're on. We've got plenty fuel. There's about 10 litres in there now. I don't know if this battery is strong enough to crank it, but basically it should crank it, and then it should potentially start up, and then it should rev like it used to when the first time we saw it. So let's give it a little play. It's okay that I was doing that. I haven't got the choke on. I was doing that kind of on purpose because I want the pump to be pumping, don't I? So now if I put the choke on, it should, if the carbs aren't gooped up, kind of be okay. Alright, I'll give it a minute with the choke on, because it got that far the other day, let's be honest. I can hear the pump. And you can see it, that bubbles when it's catching up. There you go. So this system should be pressurized, there should be fuel there now. It should be warming up. Now if of course when it's warm, if I rev it and it doesn't rev, then we need to go back down to the carbs. We need to do another clean. I think the clean will be better this time because fresh fuel has gone through it. So it'd be a second clean, a proper, well, to be fair, I did the first one properly, but a second clean. Although the ideal would be that this revs. That would save me a lot of time and hassle. It doesn't look like it's going to. No, it doesn't. It doesn't like revs. Which leads me to believe that it's all kind of clogged. I'll see if I can idle it a bit. Yeah, that leads me to believe that it's that the carbs are bunged up again. I think whatever was left in the pipeline or the system might have gone through. But again, the fresh fuel now will have made you sorted that out. Like if this could sit here for 10, 15, 20 minutes and just idle, it could effectively clean itself out. So at the moment the bike idles but won't rev. This could still be a relay issue, which is here. This is the relay, it's tucked in back down there. You pull it out and you've got 3 wires. You've got black and blue, which we know goes to the fuel pump, and then we've got black in the middle. They're the 2 we need to bridge. So what we do is we bridge these 2 here on the end and we fire up and we see if it seems like it's working better like that. Now that bridge is temporary, you don't continue. That just tells you if you're due a new relay. That's all. So I'm going to bridge them, fire it up. I'll show you exactly what happens now. It's all warm, so it will idle. That's fine. There's no choke because it's warm. I can put a tiny bit of revs on. But anything, look. See, it kind of wanted to there, didn't it? So look. Oh, that's interesting. We've got no relay. What is going on? Unless it just cleaned itself out or primed itself. Let's chuck that relay straight back in out of curiosity. As far as I'm aware, it shouldn't really have even run particularly well. Right, sorry, bad filming. Relay straight back in. By the way, guys, I hadn't bridged that relay. I hadn't done that job yet. Right, relay's back in. Let's see if it goes back to stuttering, or did it just clean itself out? I think it's cleaned itself through, guys. I think it's cleaned itself through. How close am I? Can I run this thing? Can I throw a seat on and run it? Risky. It's got a front brake at least. It practically has no rear. I think one or two things has happened there, guys. Either the fuel pump has finally caught up, it's primed the system, it's all caught up, or let me just check that is on, by the way. I wanted that to be on fuel rather than... Oh no, I'm running on reserve. I want it to be on. I'm going to switch it to on. That's on. I think there was a tiny little bit of silliness left in that carb, and it just cleaned itself through. I think that's what that splutter was. But I think a good blast on this bike would be good for it. That's not bad, guys. We're at an okay stage there. That's not bad at all. I could give it a very quick test run. Let me button down the tank a little. I'll see if it fires up and continues to be okay, and then maybe I'll give it a quick test run on these private two roads here.